Okay, Greg Pickel, it's time to get a Penn State pick right for a change.
Yes.
We were pretty bad last week with the Iowa picks. We like the Hawkeyes to beat Penn State, and it looked good early, for Iowa anyway. But they couldn't hold a 12-0 lead because Jake Pinniger made some pressure kicks. Trace McSorely got up off the deck from a knee injury, had a big touchdown run, and the defense played very well, led by Yetur Gross-Matos, who's rapidly becoming one of the top defensive linemen in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Having said all that, I think they have a much tougher task ahead this week, Greg, at Michigan. Right around a 10-point underdog. Michigan's won 7 in a row. They're built around defense in the running game. Last time Penn State came to Ann Arbor, Michigan Stadium, 49-10. It was the worst loss, I think, of James Franklin's tenure at Penn State. What do you expect from Penn State this time around as a 10-point dog?
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously I'm not looking for that big of a blowout this time around. I would call a Michigan State loss the loss of the James Franklin tenure, by the way.
The 55-16 one?
No, well, either that one or the one this year. I mean, there was the one this year I think was the toughest, maybe the toughest one of his, or the most disappointing one of his tenure.
49-10, 326 rushing yards.
It was not pretty. I'm not saying it was pretty.
28-0. I think that was the worst one, but that's a subject for another video.
Yeah,
but anyway.
We'll get into that some other time. But now this time around, there's a couple of things I think Penn State must do if it's going to win.
Yep.
It can't have Jake Pinniger's, any of his field goals negated by poor special team play. It can't have a KJ Hamler kick return that sets up a field goal or a touchdown negated by a safety or a blocked punt or a blocked kick or anything like that. If they make any of those special teams mistakes that have become so common at this point, Bob, there's very little chance Penn State wins this game, in my estimation. I think that Jay Patterson makes this offense a little bit different. I have it 30-17 Michigan. I think that Penn State can make it a game for a bit, but I think the 250-plus snaps or whatever it is for the Penn State defense over the last 3 weeks, it's got to catch up at some point. They're not playing that many guys. I think that this is just a little bit too tall of a task this year.
Doesn't help that I think Michigan, I believe, is coming off a bye.
Correct.
Last time they played, they whooped Michigan State at home pretty good. Karan Higdon is their feature back. I would imagine Penn State's going to gear up to stop him. We don't know about Rashawn Gary, if he's going to play. He's had a shoulder injury for Michigan.
Right.
Missed a couple of games. We know Trace McSorley is going to play. Your thoughts on what he's going to try to do against this Don Brown Michigan defense that's really good at taking away the run.
Yeah, Penn State solved it last year, so I think they're going to try and do a similar game plan again this year. And I think back to something James Franklin said after the Iowa win, where they said to Trace McSorley at halftime, Bob, that if you can't be the guy, if you can't run, if you can't do everything you do, we have to go to Tommy Stevens. And I'm not saying that they're going to have to do that this weekend, but it bears watching. Again, if anything with Trace McSorley's knee becomes an issue early in the game, how long will Penn State wait to potentially pull the plug and move to the guy that is mobile? I guess pull the plug's not fair, but again, if James Franklin says that, if he says that we can't have you not be yourself out there, and if Trace McSorley for any reason is not himself, how long would Penn State wait to make a change due to injury, I guess is the question. So we'll see, but they're going to need him to run around. That's how they beat up this Michigan defense last year, was keeping him on the move, and they were able to get guys out of whack in Don Brown's defense because of it.
Didn't hurt that they had Saquon Barkley last year.
No, it did not.
I'm going to go 27-17 Michigan. I think it's going to be a pretty good game into the second half. I think Penn State's defense, even though I think they're going to start to get tired. This is the week, because I think that they're going to stay committed to the running game. I think that the special teams are going to be okay this week. I do think Penn State's defense will play pretty well. Hopefully some other defensive linemen will start to play or maybe match Yetur Gross-Matos play and development. I think some of their tackles need to play a little bit better. 2 years ago when they got run over, one of the reasons they lost so badly was they ran out of linebackers. Hopefully that won't be the case this time around. But it sure looks like this is the Michigan team where they've had two kind of subpar years. This is the team I think that maybe, they beat Penn State here. I think this is a team that has a chance to go into Columbus later this year if they can beat Penn State here. To give Ohio State all they want. We'll see. 27-17 Michigan.
30-17 Michigan.
All right, so we both like Michigan. We both like the under, which is 52. But what does the rest of the staff think?